Hello everybody and welcome back to another championship predictions video. This is for game around 35. Now, the Superbru website, their dates, they've got all their dates all messed up because there is a game on Friday evening, but these matches start on Saturday. For instance, Cardiff City against Burnley, it says Saturday, but it is in fact taking place next Tuesday or Wednesday. So it all kicks off. According to the Superbru website, we've got Blackburn Rovers coming up against Norwich. Now, Blackburn surprisingly thumped by the Jacks 3-0 last weekend. And Norwich, as I've rightly predicted, I believe, beating Stoke City 4-2. So in this one, could go either way. Blackburn, how can you lose against Swansea like that? I think this is going to end up in a draw, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. Next up, we do have that fixture between Cardiff and Burnley. Cardiff got Aston Villa on Friday evening. Burnley are in FA Cup action as well, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Cardiff getting a vital victory against Hull City on Tuesday evening, where they won 1-0, and Burnley surprisingly high scoring victory against Sheffield Wednesday, where they won 4-0. Normally it's either 0-0 or 1-0, but they did keep their clean sheet all the same. In this one, can Cardiff's defence hold out? Got a lot of players out, injured, etc. at the moment, so I think this is going to end up in a 1-0 away win for Burnley. Next up, we move to the MKM Stadium, where Hull City take on Plymouth Argyle. Hull, of course, we've just mentioned, losing 1-0 against Cardiff, and Plymouth, last time they were in action, which was last weekend, was a 1-1 draw against Cardiff City. Got to say, out of the two sides, Hull looked better, although they kept hold of the ball. They didn't really do a lot with it. Plymouth probably a little bit more dangerous in front of goal, so this could end up in a draw, but I do fancy Hull to take all 3 points in a 1-0 home win. Next up, we move to Elland Road, where Leeds United now 6 wins out of their last 7 matches. An excellent 3-1 win against Sheffield United last time out, and West Brom was a decent enough 2-0 win against Oxford. In this one, you've got to favour Leeds again. They look really strong. Going into that match against Sheffield United, they were down there but came back to win 3-1 with 2 vital goals in the last few minutes. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Leeds in this one. Next up, we go to Kenilworth Road, where Luton entertain Portsmouth. Gotta say, Luton in all sorts of trouble now. It's looking on for back-to-back relegations in it, okay? They're not too much cut adrift from Hull City in 21st position, but their run of games, look at that, without a win there in at least their last 6-7 matches. So Portsmouth, decent enough. Another win against QPR last time out, so I'm going to go for an away victory to Portsmouth in this one. I'm going to go for a 1-0 away win. Next up, we move to the Riverside Stadium, where Middlesbrough take on Derby. Derby, another team in all sorts of trouble in the relegation zone. Currently in 23rd position on 29 points. And Middlesbrough, okay, they got back to winning ways with a 3-1 victory against Stoke City, but prior to that their form was terrible. But taking on a Derby side who are just looking so bad at the moment, I can only see one win here, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win to Middlesbrough. Next up, we move to the Den in London, where Millwall take on Bristol City. Millwall with just a 1 defeat in their last 7 matches, and Bristol City last time out was an excellent 2-1 win for them against Middlesbrough. So this one, tough one to call, but I think it's going to end up in a draw, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. We then move to the Castle Stadium, where Oxford United take on Coventry City. Coventry, excellent form, 6 wins in their last 7 matches. And Oxford has been 3 defeats in their last 4, and they haven't actually won in the last 6. So you've got to look at a Coventry win here, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 away victory to the Sky Blues. We then move to Deepdale, where Preston North End take on Swansea. Swansea, managerless, getting back to winning ways with a 3-0 surprise victory over Blackburn Rovers. Preston, really difficult to beat at Deepdale, so I think this is going to end up all square in a 1-1 scoreline. Next up, we go back to London. QPR taking on Sheffield United at Loftus Road. QPR's form all over the place. Sheffield United, of course, were defeated by Leeds in the last fixture. I think this one's going to be tight, but ultimately the quality in Sheffield United's ranks should see them through with a 2-1 away win. Then we move to Hillsborough, where Sheffield Wednesday take on Sunderland. This one's taking place on Friday evening under the lights. Sunderland surprisingly back-to-back defeats, as is with Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday losing 4-0 to Burnley, and Sunderland losing 1-0 at home to Hull. This one, where do we go? It'll be a draw. I think Sunderland get back to winning ways with a 2-1 away win. And the final fixture of this game week see Stoke City take on Watford at the Bet365 Stadium. Stoke City, 2 wins in their last 7, as is with Watford, but Watford have won their last 2, with wins against Luton and Middlesbrough, where Stoke lost against Middlesbrough and Norwich. This could end up a home win, a draw, or a loss. But where do I go? Going forward, as I've said in the past, Watford look great, so I'm going to go for a draw. I think it's going to end up 1-1. So those are my predictions for game around 35. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. Enjoy both the FA Cup action this weekend and these fixtures that are spread over Friday, the weekend, and throughout next week. And I'll see you all in the next video for game round 36.